All right, guys, welcome back to Surviving Hollywood. I'm Johnny Ray Diaz.
I am Aaron Arnold.
I'm Austin Arnold.
And we just sat down with the fantastically talented actress, Olivia Dudek, she's going to be appearing in the new film Anna, which is set to come out in theaters sometime late next year, I think she said.
Mm-hmm. She said
late this year.
2020. You said you're going to have to follow her in order to find out the exact details. And the movie's about a ballerina turned stripper who needs to strip to save her mom in the hospital.
It sounds like a version of True Romance combined with
The Ringer. Remember how Johnny Knoxville had to save
with the mentally challenged people?
Well, Johnny Knoxville had to save his Steve, the guy in the hospital.
Yeah. When did we get ice cream?
Yeah.
It's a tale. It's a story as old as time. It's
right.
It's one that people like to see.
I thought this was a great conversation. And speaking of this conversation, when we first started this podcast, Aaron told us personally, I want to be the Artie Lang. I want to be
back months ago.
Yeah, half a year ago.
When the idea originated.
I said I want to be the Artie Lang from the Howard Stern Show or like the Charlemagne from the Breakfast
Meaning
Club.
what?
Meaning I want to be like,
Charlemagne.
Give the guest a little pushback a little bit. Is
well,
that what you're getting at?
What happened today.
And boy, did you push back, buddy.
Well,
there was definitely moments where I felt like you were really kind of challenging the guest a little bit, pushing back.
It's not from lack of love, because I actually really liked Olivia.
She was great.
Yeah, it started out, because today was the day when the city of Los Angeles was honoring Kobe Bryant from the Lakers.
Celebration of life.
And she's a big Lakers fan, so we started talking about that. Now, I had to be honest and say it was a tragic death, of course, but I was never a fan of Kobe. So that came off as if I was being negative.
A little bit. I mean, I think we're I'm a Kobe fan now, with everything. And
it was all in good fun. It was just funny to kind of, get to know. Everybody's getting to know each other.
That started the ball rolling because, I don't know, it just seemed like me and her had a little game of cat and mouse. If she was the cat and I was the mouse.
Yeah, you're the mouse, buddy.
Definitely. So that was a lot of fun and then made it for an interesting conversation. But she also talked about the movie, which is going to be pretty cool. And she also talked about working with Refn, one of my favorite directors on Too Old to Die Young. She kind of dove into that. And she talked about the book she's writing.
A memoir, though she's in her 20s.
Yeah. And you challenged her on that too.
I just said, is this part one or...
Challenge her. It's called a conversation.
Right.
You're right. I should have just lied. I said, all right, keep talking like Johnny was doing.
Right. But, she shared some stories about it, and it was interesting. And she's, seems like she's gone through a lot of different things.
Yeah. She seemed like she'd be great to hang around with on set. She's very easy to talk to, joking around and stuff.
Yeah. You even questioned her about her social media presence.
If you look at her on her Instagram, Olivia Dudek, all the pictures, she's very serious, looks very sexy and fierce is the word? Yeah, a little bit fierce.
Sure.
She looked like could have been a Lakers cheerleader type to me, so I was very surprised how approachable and chill she was to talk to.
Oh, ease off, buddy.
Okay. And that's it.
Anyway,
this is going to be a great episode.
She was a great guest. And she had a lot of information to share about carrying a film, which I thought is really important. And I think you guys will really like this podcast. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. She's welcome to come back anytime. One of my favorite guests yet.
If, she's cool with you being here.
Yeah, I might have to leave.
Hey, and also anybody in the Los Angeles area, March 15th, Sunday, come out and see me and Jake McPherson at the Pasadena International Film Festival. Green Mama playing Sunday at 4 p.m. Have a great pod.
Did you just plug a different movie at the beginning of our intro?
Can we not plug our things?
Yeah, we should.
Absolutely. We totally should.
And Jake McPherson was a guest here.
Yeah, right? Jake McPherson was a guest. And
another guest I pushed back a lot on.
Well, that's fun. It's fun for...
Yeah, it's fun.
Anyway,
of course we can plug our
roll it, guys. That's why I always wear a hat, because I'm like, that's gonna get all messy anyway.
Is that allowed?
Whatever you want. Anything goes.
You set the rules here. We don't even.
He said whatever I want.
That's right. Within reason.
All right, we'll just. Huh? Nothing. So you were saying you're a Lakers fan, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Today was a tough day.
Yeah.
Celebration of life.
It's a big day.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. My pastor got to go. I think he got to go before, I don't know, a lot of other people went in because he did a really cool shot of like all the empty seats.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So you're a Lakers fan and Kobe fan.
Yeah.
Well, I think you have those go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like, how could you not?
For sure. But
We were Cavs fans, so
I'm actually a Suns fan.
So I always thought of Kobe as the enemy growing up in Ohio. But
everyone does give me a hard time because I was partially raised in Seattle, so everyone's like, the Lakers, what? If they hear like the Lakers because they're like
traitor.
Onyx, I know.
Were you born in Seattle or here?
I was born in LA.
Oh, okay. Well, that's where the roots are.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like,
Okay.
but most people that I spent time in Seattle with don't know that, so they're like,
I see. Traitor.
But no, I'm not a traitor. Lakers for life. But yeah, when I came out to LA, I will have to say going to a Lakers game was one of the coolest things I did. I think I gifted my boyfriend at the time tickets, and we had really good seats. I'm a good gifter. I mean, we had like
Floor seats?
no, but I think they were
Close.
just all reserved. I think those were all
okay,
like
okay.
season ticket holders.
Boyfriend at the time, so you guys broke up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he didn't gift me as well.
Okay. Makes sense.
He didn't say
But-
thank you for the tickets.
No, but no, it was such a cool game, and yeah, I just think going to that venue, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
yeah,
Is
it
there-
just made you feel like you weren't really in LA, you know?
Right.
The Staples Center is so
It's
epic.
It's so
I was like,
huge. It's
where am I?
massive.
And the players were right there, and they were giants, and it was just that was one of my favorite experiences.
Do you have like besides that, is there like a favorite memory specifically of Kobe? Like where you were like, man, this one time.
the only thing you can like about Kobe is he won championships. Am I right?
Yeah.
Other than that, he
He was a great father.
People
He
have
was a great father.
stories.
Yeah,
People have
I
stories.
thought it was cool how he coached his daughter like that.
Right.
Yep.
Really cool.
Yeah, that's true.
Definitely the
Yeah.
saddest part by far.
Yeah.
It is sad, but I was never a fan, and I'm not going to pretend like I was now that he's dead.
Yeah. But it's okay. I mean,
Ouch, dude.
But I mean, I feel like it's now it goes to show it's more about the legacy. You know, he's
Right.
gone, but we're talking about him now. We're talking about his coaching. We're talking about how he was as a father. We're talking about how he was as a.
I'm surprised on all the
Mentor.
buses in Los Angeles they had, rest in peace Kobe on every single public bus.
Well, I mean, he was so iconic to LA.
But
You
I
can't think of LA without Kobe.
I was just impressed that he must have been a huge part of the city.
Oh, dude, he totally was.
Anyways, we're here with
Go with it.
film star Olivia Dudek. She's here to talk about film and how she got started. Olivia, what's going on?
Nothing.
Oh no, something.
How'd you get
A
into
lot of things actually. Yes, I've been very busy and
lot
I'm
of
very
things.
tired. But it's a good tired. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that tired where you're like, you have to just stretch yourself that extra 10%, and it's like that. It's always that. The 11th hour feeling that, and then it's that super productive extra 10%. So.
Well, you've been
it's
making the
all-
rounds. We saw you and friend of the
Yep.
pod, Alberto, going to all those events.
Oh yeah, Alberto and Shane Callahan that was on your show.
Oh,
Great
Shane,
guy.
Shane's
They're my
awesome.
buddies. It's so fun to go to events with them, or if I'll see them there, and it'll be like photos or stressful situation, and I'll see them, and then they'll just, as you know, they'll crack me up, and it's
Right.
great. And then like I'll be feeling like I have to be super serious on a red carpet or in some situation, and then they'll just be like, I don't know, maybe it's because they're dudes, but then they'll just be like making funny faces like
Right.
against an Oscar, and I'm just like, okay, I guess I don't have to take myself so seriously.
Yeah, have fun, enjoy it, right?
Yeah,
Enjoy the
so-
process.
Yeah, it's good to have people around for those kind of.
What do you do at the Oscar red carpet or party or whatever you went to?
Oh yeah, well, let's see. I was with them at the Griot after party, and yeah.
What's the goal there? Is it like the goal is to talk to people? Like, do you have certain people you want to talk to, or like?
Well,
what's the
there
goal?
are many different parties, as you know. I mean, Vanity Fair is a huge one, but that one in
Yeah.
particular is all about diversity and inclusion, and that's what they represent. And so,
And
yeah.
you're Mexican.
Yeah. How did you know that? Number one.
Read up on all your interviews. I have so many
Wow.
questions.
That's very impressive because I get a lot of different guesses. But
All of a sudden, you're just stereotyping her.
no, that's fine. I mean, yeah, people don't usually guess that. But I'm half Spanish from my father's side, and then half Russian Ukrainian.
Okay,
my
actually,
mom's
because
side.
to me, you don't look Mexican.
You hacked our
Yeah.
emails.
My dad, my dad doesn't either. He looks more like a Spaniard. I mean, but it's kind of hard to say because he didn't really know his birth father, and so
Oh, really?
that
Okay.
lineage is very lost. And so it's a goal of my sisters and I to do that.
Now, is one of your family members born in Mexico then, or your parents
No,
were from
Second-
here?
I mean, no. My parents were both born in Los Angeles.
Okay.
They met in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Started Traces in Los Angeles.
When
so
Kobe
I'm-
was number 8.
All right, dude, let him go, dude. Let him go.
Yeah.
Just kidding around.
We get you don't like him.
No, it's a tragic death. Don't get me wrong, and it's sad that he died.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Okay, anyway.
This guy's the jokester of the pod.
Okay.
So what do people usually think you are, you said?
I get a lot Armenian a lot. Yeah.
Definitely. Do you live in Glendale?
I do not.
Okay.
No.
I used to live in Glendale, and I used to get it all the time.
Oh, okay.
My friend, you're... And then they start talking in Armenian, and I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then they get upset because you don't know the language.
Oh, it's a lot of Armenians that think I'm Armenian.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, I wish I spoke
I guess that's
Armenian.
good for acting, though, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I feel like when I first came to LA, because I am ethnically ambiguous, it was really helpful commercially, I'm sure, as you guys know. And
Budweiser.
So, yeah, I did that.
I knew it. I knew it.
Wait, are you guessing or you actually know?
I thought, no, I read it up on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But go on.
But yeah, commercially, I always did very well because when I came here, ethnically ambiguous, I think that term was like just on the map. And to people that have been actors for a while, it's like they understand it. It's pretty straightforward what it means, but
I wish I was ethnically ambiguous.
Well, maybe for commercially, but theatrically, it's actually, I don't know, in my experience, for everything I was going out for, it helped to just like speak universally, internationally,
sell
not really
beer.
sure what you are. Exactly, to sell beer mainly.
When you were going out theatrically, what were you kind of getting thrown
So-
into, like audition-wise?
Well, theatrically, I think the best example, the things I would go out for were things like Disney Channel, but very specifically like I was up for the Power Rangers for a very long time.
Okay.
And in that situation,
Which Ranger?
Megaforce. I don't know what number. it
what
was.
color?
Green Ranger all the way.
It was pink. I signed the test option agreement for that one. That was
Respect.
like I was very close, and that was for pink. But I originally started auditioning for yellow, and then they were calling me back, and then one call back they were like, actually, we want you to read.
Would have gone
now.
with the pink. Would have gone with
What?
pink. Pink is the...
I know. I was so excited. But so in that situation, Power Rangers, that's a huge franchise.
Sure.
And so I'm sure you guys understand that. But when you're auditioning for it, you really get it. That they're selling toys off of you and they're like, we don't really know what to make your toy like. It's too ethnically ambiguous.
It's not
you
clear.
know?
It's not clear.
And
Yeah.
there were a lot of factors in that where they needed you to be very match. All five of you had to be more or less the same height. You had to match your stunt doubles
see.
height. But yeah, it's when toys are involved and things that go into a franchise, it's like they want your ethnicity to be very clear.
What did they want you to be? Do you know?
Well, they ended up going with an Asian girl.
For pink?
So, for pink,
Okay.
when I auditioned.
Okay.
I don't know if it sounds racist or not, but I think in the industry we're used to that lingo where they talk race, because literally the call, and I waited so long to hear if I got it or not. And it was down to me and that other girl for a very long time. I think we both signed for it. And then the call I got to find out I didn't get it, they literally said, there was long silence and then just they went Asian. That's literally what they said. And I was just
And for our audience at home, when you say signed, they hook you in for multiple seasons, or what exactly do they do?
It was just the 6 months that would be for that, to shoot that season in New Zealand. So it was a big ordeal. But you sign a test option agreement, which means, if they go with you,
got
you're
you
just
locked
committed
in
to it.
for
So they just
that
know
time.
you're going to be available if we choose to go with you. And also this other person is, just to make sure. It's you're
Gotcha.
available mainly.
Totally. Yeah, that's what
You're
was it?
committed.
Obviously that's unfortunate you didn't get it.
It's actually good now.
What were the feelings though when that happened though? Were you devastated? Because I talked to another friend earlier and they actually went through a lot of emotional baggage through that process.
Yeah, that's it's a good question because you're right on the money there.
Okay.
I was very down and out. I think because the audition process lasted so long, number one. And so how can you not other auditions that you might wait to hear a couple of days or you just forget about it, but when you sign
Right.
for it, you can't say yes to other things, you can't audition for other things, other brands. I'm
You're kind of locked in.
Yeah, exactly.
For how long? For how long? Roughly.
6 months to a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was long. And so I mean, like mentally, I wanted to be committed to it. Like I was like telling myself, you are the pink Power Ranger. And other situations that did work out for me well, that I knew the role was mine, like in Anna. But like in this situation, it was not. But like I had to be in that headspace, and like I had to be working out. I had my personal trainer, the original Blue Power Ranger, Mike Chat.
Oh, really
Shout
cool.
out Mike Chat.
Nice.
Yeah, and so I was training with him, and like all the former Power Rangers, they were helping me out with reading, and like.
Well, how did they help? How did you meet with them, and why did they dedicate their time?
Well, let's see. I think originally I had a dance background, and so they wanted people with either martial arts backgrounds or just athletic backgrounds, so they knew they could adapt easily. Like they were looking at gymnasts, actors that were gymnast backgrounds, dance backgrounds like me, or martial arts. So I didn't really have martial arts experience, so I was like, I need to take this seriously, and I got was set up with Mike Chat for one-on-one training. And then
wait, I know him. He's from XMA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I've taken classes with him,
which is extreme martial arts.
Mike is amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And he's
amazing.
He's worked with like Jackie Chan, right, and like all these other people, right?
Yeah, he's
huge.
He's the best in the biz for sure.
Awesome.
So I mean, yeah, a lot of good things came out of that. I got to meet Mike. I got to meet that casting, and just I got to going through that experience was like a lot. Just the audition experience. And like going through all of the producer sessions and the screen tests and getting new representation and like them just very realistically seeing what that situation would be like, saving my money and what I would be making and like just looking into that pathway.
Into the future.
Yeah.
Because you were kind of like almost like not planning ahead necessarily, but you were like
you kind of
seeing
had to.
it.
I mean, that's how my representation was talking to me. Like, okay, so when you do this you can't do this for 6 months, and it was going to be shooting in New Zealand. So I was going to be
living there for a while.
Long distance. But again, like that same boyfriend, we would have been long distance. And I just think I was devastated at the time. I think I was very young, and God bless my mom. She came to LA, and I think I was just kind of down and out. And that was, I think, the only time I like felt like quitting. And she just was like, I remember sitting in the car with her like outside XMA, and she was just like, you know what, if you want to be in this business, you gotta just get over it. You gotta toughen up. And I was like, and then I gave myself some time to wallow, and then I was like, yeah, you're right. Okay.
When you say new representation, after you were on this like sort of holding deal with them, did you just get new management, like hired, like, or what did you? Yeah,
I think
you're like, all right, now I'm shooting for the stars because I got this potentially.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like in that situation, you had a lot of people advising you what to do, and people were like, well, you should, you have to. I was taking it very seriously, but they're like, you should have this representation handle the deal for you, because they're people that have handled the deal of every Power Ranger to be on the show, so they know what you should get, they know what it looks like, and so
Who? Do you mind saying?
I don't think I can.
Oh, okay.
Did you have representation at the time though?
Yeah, but it was just.
So you kind of like ditched them in a sense, like you were like, I'm done with you guys. Thanks for the audition, guys.
How do you do that?
Everyone was really supportive of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
The old agent was supportive. Hey, you can negotiate with our competition.
No, I mean like.
Is it hard to like part ways with an agent though? Is that?
No, I think that.
It's all business.
And that's also another thing. I mean, I don't think it's ever a good idea to burn a bridge,
right?
Like, because you're gonna end up working with someone again, and maybe in a different capacity in this town. But no, I was just very honest and was just like, I think like this is the way to go. And they were just like, I wish you the best. And they're no longer like, that person I was with is not even an agent anymore. So it's like,
it's cool that they were understanding then.
Well, you did the right thing then if that person quit.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. I was very...
Maybe they quit because you left. Like, I'm done.
Well, that's a bad agent though.
But also, like, it wasn't stepping on anyone's toes. I think maybe one was an agent, one was a manager. I can't remember. But also I was very young. And I think at the time when I originally got the Power Rangers...
You're pretty young now.
Oh, thank you. But I mean, I had just got here. Like, it was one of my first things. And I think... sorry, I'm having to recall a lot, but
it's okay.
I think
we're testing you.
Okay.
Just make it up.
So I think
we don't know.
I'm going to start lying. Okay. No, I just think this is taking me a really long time to remember that they were hip pocketing me. The agent that got it for me originally, which means when you're not technically signed with an agent, they're just like
kind of filling you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and I think
their loss.
Well, but also, yeah, and I think I even got with that agency that was hip pocketing me by interning at an agency for free when I first came out here, just for the experience, and not even hoping that they would start submitting me. And I think, if I recall correctly, I told you I was tired, but that's how I got the Power Rangers audition.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and my intention was not even to be signed with them. It was just to get the experience. I was like going to school, and I was going to Playhouse West, which is
Okay, cool.
awesome. And they don't even really push the business side that much. And it was someone I was like doing a play with, and she was like, "Oh, this agency I intern at, like, is seeking another like front desk assistant." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I want to like learn." And so that's why I was thrown in there. And then one of the female agents was like, "Why aren't you like utilizing this better?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, I like getting coffee." And so, I mean, honestly,
Two creams, more sugar?
Yeah, that
Got
wasn't
it.
my goal. And I think she was like, "Yeah, you should have like this manager start submitting you." And then, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I would say if you're just starting out, definitely with the intention of getting experience, like definitely volunteer as much as you can for free. I know it's hard out here,
Yeah.
but yeah, like.
So you had to wake up like at 6 a.m. and go through the breakdown. That's what you did?
Agencies actually start a little later than that, so like 10 a.m.
Oh, okay. 10 a.m.
But no, I think, what was I doing there? I think I was organizing a lot of headshots and resumes. And
Tell me how
for
annoying
their-
does it get?
no, I was excited to be there.
Okay.
Honestly,
You ever see like that headshot and you're like, man, just give up, dude.
I liked it.
Well, she
You
must.
send-
She's
you
got to
s-
see something.
You
Like that.
submit us a headshot every week.
No,
It's
not.
not
It
gonna
was
happen.
for their clients. It was for their actual
Oh, okay,
client
okay.
in-house.
Oh,
and so
gotcha,
I thought it was
gotcha.
really cool because I would see these like, like these actors that had these insane resumes, and I was just like reading their credits, and I was just
Wow.
like, one day, like that's so
Yeah.
cool. And so I was, like literally, I'm good with like, I don't know, typing and on the computer, and like I think the male agents that weren't good at that kind of thing, they were like wanted me to reformat all their agencies or resumes to like upload to Actors Access, something like that,
Gotcha.
or their database.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you've done, obviously you've done a lot well since then, even coming off of the Power Rangers thing, you've worked on some shows.
She
and-
said it worked out. I didn't need the Power Rangers because you booked.
Right.
I didn't say, well, I just think at that time and that age I was, my maturity level didn't.
How many years ago was this?
Okay, I left. Sorry, give me a 15-minute break to do the
I
math.
gotta do math here.
You can make it up too.
I think it was something like 5 years ago.
Okay.
You're acting like it's decades ago by the way you talk. You're like, oh, I was so young back then.
Well, it feels like a very long time ago, to be honest. It feels like, to me, it feels like another lifetime. I feel like a different person.
Really?
Yeah.
So it feels like,
Well, a lot can change in 5 years.
That's
Yeah,
like
but-
college.
yeah.
Yeah, especially when
yeah.
you're younger and you're kind of going through a developmental phase of
Yeah.
changing and figuring things out. So yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Totally.
But I think my maturity level, like, I think so many things, like just who I was then, I would have been eaten alive. Even that little bit of fame that show would have given me. And
Really?
I think I've just would have been in it for all the wrong reasons. I think doing like long distance with that relationship I was in, I would have been like too like.
Now you must
there was
really
a lot
love
of-
this guy because this is like
No,
the
this
third.
is an ex. This is
Okay,
like,
cool.
yes. And there's like a lot of like not good stuff there. So I think I would have been like too preoccupied with that. And then that would have like taken all of my attention when I should have been like focused.
But you have a
in
new
another
relationship
country.
now, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Is he an actor?
Thank God, no.
Producer, baby.
No, that didn't work out for me either. He is a head chef, and he is.
Oh, that's
amazing.
cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Any specific kind of food? Does it all?
All American cuisine. Is
Okay.
what it's considered.
My favorite.
Yeah.
All right. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then so I know obviously you've done a lot of stuff since then, but I actually wanted to talk to you about working on Too Old to Die Young.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Refn fan.
Yeah, me too now.
Yeah, I mean, and
Who was
I'm a-
Refn, Johnny?
Nicolas Winding Refn. He directed Drive, Valhalla Rising, a lot of amazing movies.
Drive is good.
He's got a really distinct style.
You're killing me.
Anyway, Aaron just likes to antagonize
He does.
our
It's great.
guests.
It's
So,
great.
so if you're sweating, you know why.
I'm like learning, Aaron.
I
So it's
reckon-
like-
I reckon-
and learning / appreciating.
There you
I
go.
recognized one movie title Johnny mentioned, and I just thought, yeah, Drive is good.
All right. Well, that's what he's most known for,
So
probably.
anyway, yeah, for sure.
But anyway, so you did, was it 3 episodes on that?
2.
2. Okay. Tell us your experience working with him because he has a very distinct style in the way he
Yeah.
works. So
Yeah.
what was that like?
I felt I received like a lot of, I know it sounds like girly and dorky, but like a lot of like love. I feel like he was very like calm and just like knew what he wanted. And when he did speak, it was like, I don't know, just very like, I don't know, just like calm, like, I don't know.
Like his movies.
Almost like, I don't know, almost like a father. Like, I don't know, just kind of like, so it's going to go down.
Okay.
And not much, just like to the point kind of, you know?
And I heard he does a lot of long takes.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. You just, kind of keep going, see where it goes. Yeah.
So was it open to improv in a sense, or?
What was your character?
I was just kind of like, I mean, it was just for like exterior shots, just kind of like a down and out druggie, like on the street.
I can see it.
Okay.
I can see it.
I didn't want to say anything, but yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'm like just really like sick of being typecast as that, you know?
So he was maybe open to improv?
What's that?
Was he open to improv with the druggie?
I mean, I think that wasn't like the goal, like what the first thing he would go for, but like I think there were some like at the end that like just like let it keep going and see where it goes. Sounds cliche, but like yeah.
Or did you recognize why he's such an acclaimed director working with him? Like besides the fact he was fatherly, like you could tell like, oh, this guy.
Yeah, for sure. I think just like when someone has a vision, when it's just like they don't have to say much. It's not like loud and like like do this and do that and like I have to prove I'm the director. It's like it's like night and day of like just calm and like who knows what's going on actually in their head, but like how they interact with other people and actors and like their DP and like that's like it's like very like,
he was just very mellow in a sense.
chill. Yeah.
What was the audition process like with him?
Oh, like
because he was in the read. Because I had a friend that worked on that show and he was telling me he was at the callback.
Oh no, mine was on tape.
Oh, really? Okay, awesome.
And just like very quick. I mean, I literally remember, I think it was like, wow. I really remember like when I get all of my auditions, like the headspace I'm in, kind of like when I first read it, like is it on my phone? Is it on my computer? Like who I'm with? Am I out? Am I home? You know what I mean?
So you have great memory.
Oh, I guess so. All right. I feel like it is annoying when people say they have a photographic memory, because is that annoying when people say that?
Yeah, because I mean, a true photographic memory is like...
You'll tell me when something's annoying. Is that annoying?
Well, Aaron will be
I
honest.
definitely would. Aaron
would.
It's not annoying. It's just like...
Aaron's annoyed right now.
No.
Like 1 to 100, how annoyed by me are you?
Aaron's annoyed with Johnny.
I'm enthralled. If I had to describe you in 3 words, it'd be brave, unwavering, and empathetic.
You're done again. Okay, I want to answer this question because I think this does... answer the question of like the way that he works. I think I got the audition on like say a Monday at 5 o'clock. I think we were starting to shoot on like a Thursday morning. I think I was supposed to have the audition in by like the next day at like night or maybe Wednesday in the night. And then it was just like very like,
quick.
It was already initially like you have to get this done quickly. And then my agent was like, you have to actually get it done in half the time because I don't remember what it was, but something like
change the shooting day or something, or
but it was because of him. He needed not change the shooting day, but like he just needs to look over this, and I could just tell it was like in his mind, like we need to do this. Like,
well, he directed
casting and directing work, so like it makes me laugh. I'm like they're crazy, but I love it, Yeah,
because he directed every episode, right? I mean, he was heavily involved in the whole creative process of that entire show. From what I've looked at and stuff. I don't know about the whole entire thing. So I can't really speak on that. Okay.
But yeah, so it was very quick.
You auditioned for that show, right, Johnny?
I have auditioned for that show, but my friend of mine was on the show.
Oh, cool.
I helped him with the self-tape.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, man, I really wanted to get this.
Well,
but no.
Cool that you got to help him with it,
Oh, totally.
You kind of got a look into also what it requires.
Absolutely.
And I was very happy with my audition.
Yeah.
Can you give us some lines?
No.
It's a very stylized show, so.
Just kidding.
I was actually going to.
Oh, I love it.
But.
Photograph memory.
But,
Absolutely.
People, I think with self-tapes, I know when I nail it.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
So every self-tape, when you know you nail it, you get it.
Yeah, I would say so.
Really?
I would say I don't always feel that way for in-person auditions. Like it's more,
What do you prefer?
I guess self-tapes.
Okay.
I mean, well, that's not true. I like being in person. I like getting direction. I enjoy that. It always makes me feel good when they give me time and ask me to do it different ways.
What do you think is your headspace when you feel like I nailed it? Like, where are you at?
Well, I think it's because I can watch it.
Okay.
Yeah. I can
So
see
like
myself.
go back and look at it?
And I think that, cause I think I can just like see how it was actually delivered. And then I'm like, oh, that's like better than I thought it was. Or wow, so, or the opposite. So
Or good enough. This is due by 5.
yeah, exactly. And that's usually how it is. So you kind of know like, oh, that wasn't my best work, but like sometimes you just have to do it.
Got to send it
And
in.
you have to have a reader. So it's like their availability and whatever it is. But yeah,
So why do you want to, like, what attracts you to acting?
I'm already laughing.
Okay.
I don't know.
I want to.
Yeah,
I want to
just
get to
love
know
your
you, Olivia.
personality.
Well, it feels like you can do anything. Like,
Aw.
why did you choose acting?
I feel like I can do anything too.
Yeah.
Thanks. Do you guys feel like that?
Well,
I feel like
I feel like
people-
Olivia can
a lot
do
of
anything.
artists feel like that. So
I'd
I
love
said
to,
I could ask you anything.
yeah, I'd love to make shoes one day. I've always wanted to make shoes.
You say that
No,
every
I'm just kidding.
podcast.
I know. Stop.
Oh, I thought it was special. Anyway, what was the question?
No.
Why do you want to be an actor?
Yeah,
What
why
attracts
acting?
you?
Oh,
Every talkback.
yeah, for sure. There's something like creatively collaborative that I love about the medium of film, like being on set, but also the pre and post production, like whether I'm a part of the editing or not. That's just so like I want to direct one day, and I think it's kind of a similar, love. How just so many components coming together. Like it's just so like the music, the style. Like I get it. Use my love for music, my love for style, my love for emoting, my love for storyline, my love, and like
All
just
to tell the same story.
Film has so many components. It's
Right.
insane.
So many pieces.
Yeah, even if I'm just acting one of them, like being on set, you get to interact with the DP and see his creative process and read the beautiful script and interact with the wardrobe and hair and makeup. And there are just so many creative passions and loves of mine coming to one. It's like insane. Yeah.
And so how did that kind of transition into this new film you worked on, Anna?
Yeah.
Which tell us about your role a little bit.
So I play Anna in the film called
Nice.
Anna.
Best role.
Yeah.
Best role.
And
There it is.
what I just said definitely is true in this film. Just that it was an amazing crew, an amazing cast, and maybe actors feel like this after working with on every project because the crew and cast becomes your family for the period of time you're working on it. That's just how it is. But I loved everyone on that set, and I have nothing but like amazing nostalgic feelings about it.
Let me give you guys the pitch because Olivia she hasn't
my
set
bad.
it up. This is about a stripper who's on desperate. Or no, this is about a
Ballerina turned stripper.
This is about a ballerina.
Quite different.
Yeah.
This is about a ballerina falls on desperate times. Her mother is in the hospital and she has to turn to stripping.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to see that?
I don't know.
That's what it's about, right?
Yeah. Well done.
Okay. And I guess your
yeah.
background in dancing helps, right?
Yeah, for sure. Except I actually didn't do any ballet in this film.
Oh,
Just stripping.
So there are a lot of flashback scenes to my younger self, and the beautiful actress that played me, she did the ballet. So it kind of showed the arc.
so they made her do all the hard work.
You're a professional
like
ballerina
that.
dancer, but they didn't have you do any ballet?
Yeah, isn't that hilarious?
That's kind of weird.
Like when I came to the point of realizing, like, wait a minute, in auditioning, like I'm not actually going to do any dancing. Like I laughed at myself. Like, of course not. But for two reasons. So one, they needed to show, like, why the decisions in the film are made. Meaning her background, the relationship with her mother. She's an immigrant, so the stakes are very high for her. It's a very specific situation that she's in. And so the flashback scenes, the fact that I'm a ballerina, the fact that I'm a Mexican immigrant, it explains why everything happens and until the end of the film.
How many weeks did you guys shoot?
I think actually shoot
How many
3, but like there was a lot of pre-production. And I did it a while ago, so I mean, definitely post-production has been the longest part of
It's
that.
been taking a while. And this was writer Rafael Agustin, right?
Yeah,
Jane
yeah.
the Virgin.
Who's
What was it
amazing
like
writer.
him working with him? Because this is his story he told.
How did you meet him?
Yeah.
How do you?
Well, I met him think the first time I met him was when I had to screen test with him.
So it's through the audition process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was when I screen tested with him. But he was so awesome. I mean, the audition process was very long, but he was so awesome. I mean, once I got the parts, I mean, I met with the director one-on-one. I met with the choreographer one-on-one. And then Raphael and I blocked out our stuff, our scenes, and because of his, you know,
was he also
was
in
the
the
writer.
movie?
Yeah, he was in it as well.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And so,
Were you guys both leads? Obviously, you're the
Correct.
lead. Okay.
yes, he is the
Only
other.
one.
So he's
Anna.
like, well, I might as well
Sorry.
write myself in the movie.
It's kind of hard to talk about it because there's so much I don't want to give away.
Sure.
So,
Well, you can
sorry
tell
if I
us.
seem like
Just us.
overly hilarious.
It's
Good
okay.
one, guys. Sorry if I seem like overly pensive with every question, but I'm like, can I say this?
It's all good.
So yeah, and then even like before we started shooting, he really helped me and went over like every little beat in that script. Like he wanted to make sure I really understood it. And I mean, he trusted in me, but he was like, this is my job. Like as a friend, I'm going to really make sure she understands this.
Yeah.
Like every little beat. And I was just like, that's one and that's one. And oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. But like, that's how you have to, you know, you have one script, like that's your job.
Well, it sounds like he had a lot of confidence in you to do that then.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
he
I
would
think
believe,
they
yeah, you could
wouldn't
do
have
it. You know
given
what I
me
mean?
the part if not, you
Right.
know, because it was down to me and two other girls for a very long time. And also, one good takeaway from Raphael, I mean, he was helpful in the whole process, but I remember he said, so the story is about a ballerina turned stripper. And so I didn't do any ballet, but actually for the scenes that I'm in the strip club, they wanted me to look like a fish out of water. You know, they wanted it to look like
you
this
didn't
is why she
belong.
stands out. This is why
Okay.
she's the top earner, because she's classy, because she's different than all the other girls that have done this all their life and will probably be here for a very long time. Like
Got a
she's,
heart of gold.
yeah, and
Like true romance.
yeah, like her outfits are classier than the rest. Like her posture is amazing.
She
like
costs more.
You throw her 20s,
Yeah.
buddy.
20s.
50s.
A roll of quarters?
Hundreds.
I don't know.
Oh my
I thought
gosh.
ones
She
are
has
the
a
minimum.
card
You
machine.
guys are not invited to Anna's Club.
I guess we won't be going in. I'll be the guy in the back.
Was that like? Did you have any apprehensions though? Like, because I feel like you're a nice Christian girl, like playing a stripper.
I didn't. Honestly, I think I don't really have hard, fast rules about like politics or anything. It's not like I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I can talk about film with a stripper and I can play that. It's more like
Good. We're all Trump supporters here, so
perfect.
Half the country is, buddy.
I know.
Okay, so I'm more like if I feel that something is for me, and from the moment I read that script, I was like, this is amazing. Like it's not really predictable in a lot of ways you would foresee it being, and so I felt like this is a story worth telling. It's well done. It's very tasteful, so it was a no-brainer.
Good.
For the actors out there watching, listening to this podcast, like when you do any sort of where you're in, lingerie or stripping or whatever, is that specifically written into your contract, the nudity rider before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew exactly what to
Yeah,
expect.
definitely. But I was like, yeah, it was definitely talked about, agreed upon. Yeah.
All right, just check.
Yeah. And I just felt very lucky, especially with that content, that I was in good hands and like I trusted everyone. But there is, like I said, the pre-production was so long, just like making sure everyone was comfortable. I mean, the director,
Yeah.
Jose, and I, we would just like go out to lunch sometimes just to talk to make sure we were like, I mean, obviously the film would always come up, but like in the character, he mainly wanted to answer any questions I had on her, but he just wanted to make sure we were comfortable in any circumstance.
That's great.
And you were like, but are we going to shoot this yet? Our third lunch?
Next year.
I was like, this is great. So next, can we go to this restaurant? No, yeah. So, and he gave me like so much like different literature and books and like films to watch that he wanted to emulate and just
Did they
threw at me lots.
make you go to a strip club just to kind of see
Yep.
the...
I went to all the strip clubs in town and
Whoa.
we
All
live in
of them.
LA. So
Wow.
All of them.
that's a lot.
And they made you pay for all the dances too.
But like sometimes
not-
here, Tom Cruise will be like a cop or Nicolas Cage or like a UPS driver to get in.
It was
to the role.
important.
But
Like-
you didn't feel like you needed to join a strip club in order to.
Oh, actually join? No.
Right.
No.
That's what I was about to ask you. Is like, what did you specifically yourself do in preparation for the role? Like, did you need to research even into like
what I will
immigration
say,
and
though-
stuff?
But wait, what I will say about like going to a strip club, it was, I think, like the most informative was when I just went to the bathroom and like two dancers were in there talking, and they were just like talking about like, oh gosh, I think one of them was talking about their like said something about her boss, and then what they were doing like afterwards, and just like their banter, like what you would think they would do in the dressing room, but like they were just in the public bathroom and like fixing their outfits and just like, and I was like, that was like the vibe of like, oh, okay, you know, like I've been a dancer and like, yeah, my dance, the former other dancers are like my best friends backstage, but like this is a different setting, you know, so that was cool because when they're on stage, that's not really what they're going.
It's all an act,
Right.
Yeah, of course.
No, I don't like strip clubs. How do you feel about them?
Well, why don't you like them, Aaron?
I feel like it's a waste of money, right? Like,
Well, you lost all your money at them, right?
like if you can spend like what, $30 on a lap dance at a strip club. If you just spend $30 at a bar, at least you have a chance of bringing the girl back, right?
Yeah. What is your take?
I think you should just watch Anna if you don't want to go to a strip club.
I
And
like
then you'll
that.
be like, okay,
I
cool.
want to watch
I don't
Anna.
have to waste any money.
And where can our audience watch that?
So it will have wide theatrical release late this year.
All right. And you're
Yeah.
going to have to follow her on Instagram to stay
Yeah.
updated.
Yeah.
Link in the description.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Sorry, what was your question?
the only question I had is with the Mexican immigration part. How did you do any research yourself into that? Because obviously that plays a big part of it too, right?
A lot. There was a lot of backstory I just had to create for my own. Because also, like I said, I mean, I had my one-on-one time with the director, my one-on-one time with the choreographer, learning all of the routines, and then with Raphael, and there's very little minimal dialogue in the film. So the actual like rehearsals with the other actors was pretty minimal, and then like all of the fittings with hair and makeup and wardrobe to like decide all of my different looks. And then it was like the most daunting part was just like this period of time where it was just like, okay, so now you take all that and you make it your own, you know?
Right.
Like it
But
really was.
that's the fun part, right?
Yeah, but it is.
A lot of pressure,
Yes,
though.
for sure. But you also kind of go home and you're kind of like, what do I do?
Yeah.
But it's like so silly, but like, I mean, it happens every time. It's like I equate it to when I used to do live dance performances and you've like toured these things internationally 1,000 times and like you're in the wings about to go and you're like, I think I forget all the choreography. No, you don't. You're just kind of
A little nervous.
titillated. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I go home and I'm like, oh my gosh. But if I don't go through that, oh my gosh, then like it's not worth it. You know, like of course I'm gonna go through that. So yeah, creating that, there wasn't much like the movie just starts when they're in the throes of it. There's not it's not a slow starting film.
I see. It's
Yeah.
not really into the backstory
No, except
necessarily.
for that's what the flashbacks serve as.
Got you.
Yeah, so the backstory, that was all on me. So of course, talking with everyone that needed to make sure the film went into a certain direction and shared the same vision, talked to me about my backstory, but like the specifics of it and the details were all on me. So. But that was fun. That's the fun part.
So-
It's all yours. The secrets, everything.
Right. All the things you worked on.
Yeah, Anna comes off this way, but
All the
like
fun.
really like what's going on. Like, yeah, that's on you. And yeah, everyone's process is different. So
A lot of people out there might be wondering because one day it'll happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like to carry a film?
Yeah.
Because you got to carry it as that
That's
one on the
a
call
good
sheet, right? I mean,
question.
it's a lot of pressure too,
Yeah.
right?
It is
it's
pressure.
also really cool to see.
It's also really demanding because you're like, hey, I need my coffee at this time.
Nah, I'm not like that. Actually, people have to like tell me to be like that.
There you go.
If you want coffee, ask.
Like they're like,
I know we offered you a coffee when you got
no,
here.
it's like I'll be like trying to help the crew like clean up, and then people will be like, "Do you think Meryl Streep does that?" And I'm like,
Do you think she
okay.
puts the lights away?
Yeah, seriously. But I'm just like, when you feel like a family and you see your brother that you just had a conversation with about his family, like struggling and having a late night, you want to like help.
Sure.
And I just, even like when there were flashback scenes with my younger self played by Valentina, I was just like there for her. I was always on set for that film, even when I wasn't shooting. I just like wanted to be a part of it.
But like knowing that you have to carry it when you're looking through the script, is there certain parts of it that you feel pressure? Like, I know I need to perform emotionally here or something like that.
Gotta kill it.
And like, I think don't make the mistake of like when something's exciting or full of pressure to like share it with other people. I think I was excited and I like, just even though I wasn't supposed to, I shared the script with my sister who like, she is a documentary film producer and I knew she would
nice.
appreciate it. And I sent it to her and she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you are going to act this out. And then I was like,
Like,
oh my gosh,
like,
I
in
can't believe I'm
a,
gonna act this.
like in a good way, or she was like, "Are they sure they made the right decision?" Like, was it in a good way, or
Just like
okay,
this is a heavy.
You?
This
Okay.
is a heavy load to carry. Like
Right,
this
it
is
is.
a task. Like
Right.
you know, and I was just like, oh my gosh, bye. Like until
Yeah.
get my. But
so how do you think
yeah.
you rise to the occasion? Like, what it is? What do you have to do?
Oh my gosh. You know, I feel like emotional preparation for everyone is different. You know, it's really important to go to class so you are prepared with how to get there and what works for you, and to stay updated with journaling and being in touch with yourself to know your process, because something that worked for you 5 weeks ago isn't going to work when you go tomorrow. Or if you're doing the same thing repeatedly, it might not work for you even the next take. And I had that experience on this film as well. Like before lunch and after lunch were totally different situations.
Right.
So I think you just really have to shut everything out. And I did that. Like I was just like in my apartment, like a crazy person, like just using all of the music that I needed to. Like I was literally a crazy person, like lights pitch black, like with the music on, like
Heavy drinking.
Like, I was just like, if I can't get there, like, no. Well, maybe. Actually, you know what? I be for the table read, the first table read after I had booked it. I was so nervous. I actually, first time in my life, you know, they say like, I'm so nervous, I could feel like I could throw up.
Threw up on the script.
No, in my apartment before I went to the table read. It's a table read. Who
Right.
cares? But I was so nervous. Like they gave me this part. Can I like do it? It was like I actually was so nervous, like on an empty stomach. So nervous I threw up, and like before I left, and then I was fine. But
That'll be a good story to share on Jimmy Kimmel when you're on there.
Oh, yeah.
why does he talk about that?
It's
or is
why
this
not?
a good story?
It's a good story.
Yeah,
Did
I
you make
couldn't
it
believe it. I'd never done that before. And then I texted my family. I was like, I literally was just so nervous I threw up.
In front of everybody, or you made
No, I
it
was
in the
in my
apartment?
At her
apartment.
apartment.
Oh, okay.
And then
gotcha.
she went and acted like
Yeah.
everything was okay.
I get
Yeah,
it now.
pretty much.
I hope you at least brushed your teeth on the way out.
Nope.
All right.
I was like, I have to go through this. So
Love
they have
it.
to smell it.
Love it.
Yeah. But I don't know. Did I answer your question about carrying the film? Because there's a lot there. That
Yeah.
was like an intense thing I went through. And it's so cool because after you go through it, you're like, I can do anything.
Yeah.
You know, like
Definitely.
you really can, because that was an emotionally intense film.
Yeah.
And for me, I knew this, it was so intense. I was like, I'm not showing up on set. I'm not leaving. I'm not going there unless I know I can get there.
Right.
Yeah, like unless I'm confident, I'm not even showing up. I'm not wasting anyone's time.
Was
Like,
there ever any time where
and I
you-
got there, you know, but I was like, that's, I think suffice it to say, like, I'm not going to show up unprepared.
right?
You know?
Well,
Like-
yeah, we'd hope not. Hope
Well,
not,
I
right?
mean, you could feel like
Sure.
I'm just going to show up and wing it.
Right.
Like maybe if it's a co-star role or if you're like kind of
Right.
unsure, but like when you're the lead of a film, no, you're not going to do that.
yeah.
Why?
You're all ready? I haven't really looked at the script. We'll just go with it.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah. What's the line
It's
again?
like
What-
ADR all my lines.
what-
right?
what's my mom's name again?
I'll just like,
Did you ever have any moments on set when you were talking to the director and you saw it one way and he saw it another?
perhaps, but you know, I feel like,
Or
in
they
a
were just
good
like kind of
communi-
let you just roll with whatever you're feeling?
I think that happened, but it was never negative. I think, you know, he would always give me notes and things I would take personally. Like, I mean, Jose, his English is his second language. And so like.
Do you speak Spanish?
Más o menos.
Okay.
Okay.
Clearly Aaron's fluent.
Yeah, so he's fluent. But I just didn't take anything personally. Like I remember one time I did a scene and he imitated me. Like not a good idea, but he
Yeah.
was like, you literally look like this in the last scene, and he like did my face and I'm just like, that's not nice to tell a girl. He's like, you literally look like this, and made like the ugliest face. And I was like, okay, so we should do it again? Is what you're saying?
He's-
Right.
And you're like, hey, well, you look like this when you yell action.
Yeah.
But no, when you have a good relationship with someone, you're not gonna like take it personally. You know that like they're trying to help you and you're trying to help them. And if they give you an adjustment, that means like, hey, let's do it another way. Let's explore here. And yeah, our DP though, Peyton Skelton, he was really awesome. I felt like in times that maybe I was confused, that he really would step up. Like he was very like to himself and like a silent genius, and he would step in and
like
just
that.
be like maybe just like do it this way, you know.
Yeah.
And like he would come through and be like, I mean, they are like a director.
Just do it again,
DP's
but
the
better,
director of
but
photography,
better.
the cinematographer, and they can be like a director sometimes. Like maybe if in the moment the director doesn't know how to talk to you, the in this situation of Anna that Peyton really did. He was like, called me Liv from the beginning, and he was such a blessing to the film.
Nice. Is that what your friends call you?
Family, yeah.
And now us.
Good.
Yeah, you can call me Liv for sure. I like it because it reminds me of family. Like, I'm not really like, I'm Liv to family and friends.
Cool.
But not Olive.
I was Olive to like select few growing up, and I have so many nicknames.
That's
I'm
cool.
the youngest,
Like
so
what?
like,
Like what's another nickname?
no, I'm not gonna tell you. Because my older siblings give me so many annoying nicknames.
Al.
I'm not saying them out loud.
Right. For another pod.
Are you gonna put it in
Hey,
your,
you.
Are you gonna put it in your book?
Yeah.
Tell us about this book.
Oh yeah. So the book I'm writing, I've been in LA.
It's a memoir,
Yeah.
but you're like 30,
Yeah,
30
but-
or less.
Yeah, but I've been
Less.
doing this for a long time, and I've had a lot of experiences and
I'm
a lot
up-
of good ones, and a lot of ones you probably wouldn't expect to come out of me.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what?
I also want people to read the book, so I don't want to give too much away.
This is how you get them to
funny
read.
one. How about a funny one?
Please.
Yeah.
So,
And a really like, bad one too. Like
Yeah.
give us both.
Yeah. There's still 8 other chapters.
oh my gosh.
Aaron draws the negativity out of people. Just,
I didn't mean bad.
So
I
we
meant
can
just-
learn.
It's like a lighthearted one.
I'm not trying to be negative though.
A lighthearted one is like what I like to call the or like that part of that chapter is like coconut oil, because one time when I booked a commercial,
For coconut oil.
no, it's not for coconut oil, it's for a big brand. But I booked it, and then I was like on a veil. Like even when you book it, you can be on a veil because like they might not use you for all of the days. They just want to make sure, like, granted, like if it starts pouring down rain and we need you for another day, like make sure we have her kind of thing. And I think I was on a veil for like Monday and Tuesday, but like, and the fitting was Saturday, and they're like, yeah, we'll send the call sheet tomorrow, Sunday. Sunday night comes, I like didn't get a call sheet, so I was like, oh, okay, cool. They don't need me tomorrow. Like I'm not gonna be on set until Tuesday. So I think it's a really good idea to do like girls do like coconut treatments on their hair, and then I did like a coconut oil treatment on my hair where you'd like douse your hair in oil so it's like silky smooth and like looks good on set and not gonna have any flyaways or frizziness. So I do that, and there's there's like a darker part of this story, but I'm gonna.
That's what
hold
Aaron
on.
wants.
We like that.
Well, I don't know.
Well, you can tell.
I'll leave,
You can tell
and then you
us.
can tell
I don't. So I mean, honestly, I'm saying like in this book, it really reveals like all of my mistakes, all of my flubs, all of the times I went down the dark path, all the times God was calling me to go this way, and I was like, I'll see you later. That doesn't sound fun. And like when,
But you've never gone down the dark path.
many a times.
Heroin.
And so that's what I say. I mean, the book is like, it's entertaining and painfully honest, and it's really my testimony of faith. It's really when like God was calling me, and like, and I went towards what he was saying and like the path for my life. And then I turned and I went the other way, and then I followed him again, and then like my back and forth. And that's
It sounds like it's more about a lot of
lessons
lessons you learned
For
in
sure.
life. Well,
For
what
sure.
inspired you to write it?
I was called to do it, and I honestly didn't want to for a very long time. And anyone that like is spiritual or knows what it feels like when you're called to do something, like you can easily sit on it. You're like, no, I don't want to do that, or I don't have the funds to do that, or I don't have the connections to do that, or that's not me. And for a very long time, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. You want me to write like a book that I can then turn into like a screenplay, so I can like act in it and further my acting career. I got you. And then I had to realize like, no, that's not it, hon. Like you actually need to write a book so you can share all of these mistakes you made on your path of becoming an actress.
So do you hope to kind of
help people.
inspire people to
Yeah.
make the right decisions more or less, or is it more based around your faith and to kind of trust that more?
Well, I think it's both. I think that, you have to trust your faith when you're in order to make the right decisions, and I know there's like a lot of taboo about like right and wrong, but I'm just telling my stories, and you can clearly see which
The only stories
situations
that
are
you can
not
tell
that great.
is your story.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And, I really love Becoming by Michelle Obama. And I think she's such a powerful woman because she really inspires everyone to just share their story. And I think she's, super empowering, especially to women, but to everyone, to just say, like, your story is you, whether it's, like, embarrassing or, like, impressive. And, just like share it, because you're only going to help people. There's so many different careers. So people that are aspiring to do a similar thing can I know people say it a lot, but learn from it. I'm not really sure, but,
Oh, go ahead.
Who do you like in the Democratic race?
Ooh, man.
It could change tomorrow, but who are you liking? today?
I don't really not good about talking politics.
Okay.
You know, maybe
We're
maybe
not
that'll
good
change.
either. We're
Maybe
hoping
that'll
you.
change in the future.
Yeah,
I have no clue.
we just have
so.
no idea. So we're hoping like you could say some like. Too bad Michelle isn't
Tell
running,
tell
right?
me who to vote for,
That's
please.
true.
I don't
No,
know.
I would never.
Like Elizabeth Warren, you probably like her.
Why do I probably like her?
Okay, well,
Because
what's
she's
not,
a woman.
oh, sorry, she's not likable. But
Okay.
no, what's not to like about her? She's great, right? Bernie Sanders, you probably like him. Is that?
There was a point in my life that I did.
All right.
4 years ago.
I mean, I love seeing Larry David do Bernie Sanders.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, for sure.
Good. So what do you hope that people, oh, well, first of all, how much longer till you finish the book? And what do you want people to take away from your film and the book?
Well, if people are interested in me and my career and they say, like, oh, that's a cool role she played, that's a powerful role, and they like my story and are interested in my career in general, then I would, if that type of person, I would hope would want to read the book. You know, if they're not, then they might not care for the things I've gone through to get to where I am. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, but I didn't even finish telling you that coconut oil story.
Yes, we were
Oh,
waiting
yeah,
for
so
it.
I
We
didn't
just
get
thought
the-
you didn't want to share. We're just like, okay.
No, well, I feel like okay, maybe I'll tell you. He's like, tell me.
Aaron,
tell us.
I feel
You
like
can
I've
tell
been
us.
your
Okay.
best friend in this interview.
Aaron's
Am I
dying.
wrong, guys? I feel like
whose side are you on, buddy?
yeah, I'm on Olivia's side.
Over here, you're kind of leaning this way.
Guys, Olivia, I came
Yes.
off a bit negative when I was talking about Kobe earlier. I apologize, but I'm on
Yeah,
the
you
same
should
page as everybody
apologize.
else here. Don't want to be negative.
Guy's a
Okay.
legend, dude.
He doesn't want to be negative. This was said tonight. He doesn't want to
I
be
don't.
negative.
I don't want to be negative.
He's a LeBron fan.
I promise. I made a mistake. Okay. Can you forgive me?
So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and say it. So, yeah, Sunday, I don't get the call sheet. Monday morning, I get a call at like, I don't know, like 5 a.m. And I like answer my phone and they're like, Olivia, like, where are you? And I'm like, wait, who is this? And they're like, yeah, this is production. Like, why aren't you on set? And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Like, for what job? And they're like, yeah, you're supposed to be here. Like, you're supposed to be in the makeup chair. And I'm like, what? And I was like, I did not think I was shooting today. And they're like, okay, like just trying to get to the point. And they're like, okay, well, can you please get downtown as soon as you can? And I'm like, okay, sure. I like go in the bathroom, like half awake. And I'm like, oh my God, like my hair is doused in oil. Like that's not fun for hair and makeup. And so I was like, I got a shower and wash this out. And then I'm like, no, actually it's rush hour. I have to get downtown. And I was stuck in traffic all the way down to getting downtown. And it was so intense. And I finally show up to like hair and makeup and they're like, is your hair wet? And I'm like, no, it's oil. That's like hair and makeup's worst. You can't do anything to that. Like just like try to put a hot tool on that. It's going to like make it explode.
It's not your fault though. They didn't send you the call sheet.
Did you
but you know
express that?
what?
But then it's
when
like you
things
don't
are your
really.
fault. I'm not really someone to be like pointing blame as soon as I show up on set. That doesn't make you look great.
Unless
you
they're
know?
pointing blame at you. That's what I would be
I
afraid of.
still would say I just said nothing just to like let's just get me to set as soon as possible because I was holding everything up. You know that's not fun. I like literally they're just waiting for me. The director's just waiting for me, and I can hear the walkie-talkies like, "Is she done? Is she done? Is she done?" I'm making this set so late. Like that time is money.
Well, that's why I feel you make it clear it's not your fault.
Well, I did like very like I think the only thing I said was like. So I was like, so I didn't get the call sheet, and what happened was like a PA got my email address wrong,
And you got
like
fired.
sent the call sheet to someone else, and
He's no longer with us.
They realized that, but like at the same time, like who cares? Like let's just get this shoot moving. Like who cares? Like, and so I show up, and my hair is just looking so crazy, and I know that sounds minor, but like I'm late, I'm frustrated. I was supposed to be doing this stuff. The director's just mad. And then he was just like, every take, I'm like doing it wrong. And he was like, I could get this PA or so I could do this. I could just be doing this. And like, but it was
saying this to
because-
you?
Yeah. But I think when like some
geez.
people are running behind and like
Right.
things are just anger ensues. And let's just say I was left on the cutting room floor of like that shoot. And like, it just, but my actual point is I was actually engaging. Like I was misbehaving. I was going down a dark path the night before when I'm like loving it.
Made me think of that song, Misbehaving. You know that one?
No, I don't.
From the HBO show. I know.
Righteous
Gemstone.
Sounds great. Oh, I love that show.
Do you know the reference?
Oh, the Jody Hill show?
Wait,
They sing.
You
It's
gotta-
like the song.
you gotta sing it better.
Misbehaving.
Mama said da 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 da
I don't know. Out of context. I don't
misbehaving.
know, but I love that show.
Okay.
It's so funny.
Well, you missed that up.
But anywho, and so yeah, I mean, honestly, like I don't really want to say what the situation was. I feel like the details are better safe to read the book. But
Okay.
let's just say I was doing something I should not have.
Just
and I
tease
was
us.
very aware of.
I don't understand why you can't give us like one of the
It's
big stories.
It's all right.
Many,
It's fine.
because there was only one chapter in the book, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to save
Yeah.
it.
That's how we sell
Short
the books.
story.
But I think the audience can read into alcohol that night. So.
Sure. Yeah.
That's fine. We'll just take that.
All right.
Yeah. Alcohol. Love. Just okay. So let's just say I was doing something very wrong that I knew I shouldn't have been. And then that situation ensues very shortly after. And I just knew, like, when I'm in traffic, like driving to the set, like so stressed out with oil in my hair, like, yeah. And so frantic, I was just like, okay, yeah, God, I get it. Okay, yeah, I get it. I got it. I get it. And, but yeah, I feel like there were so many situations like that where I was like, okay, I get it. And then doing like the same thing a month later, you know, like you say you want to change and then you don't really change. Your heart doesn't really change. You know, you might like change one relationship, but not like, you know, it's really about what place your heart is in. And you know, when you're
Then you
like,
date the
changed.
same type of guy a month later.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or
That gives you Lakers
A
tickets.
chef.
no, not that one. But yeah, and so that was just a situation. Like I had never had a situation like that on set or at all. You know, that's when, you know, your reputation is important to you.
Well,
and
it makes for a good story, though.
Yeah,
like right
I
now.
guess so.
And a life lesson.
Yeah, exactly. But that was a harsh one, and I think that was like a miserable one, like a national that I knew was gonna show. I told everybody about it, and then like come the spot, like when it's supposed to air, like you can see like my my elbows and my arms and my hands, but like even to get the buyout for that, you have to like
be
hired
in
as
the
a hand
cut.
model. Like
Oh,
if you're like not
In the edit, they don't have to pay
showing
you.
up. Yeah. I mean, you get paid for your like,
session
day's
fee.
work.
Yeah.
But like the good buyout, like if you're there, you're not filmed for as you were hired.
The real money.
Yeah, I mean, if you're hired for a hand model, then that's a different thing. But like,
Right.
if just body parts are showing, that's not it. So there was like that.
And this was Nissan?
You have to read the book to know the
Okay.
brand.
Yeah.
Okay. Can't wait.
But next try.
I will be reading it.
We're
Thank
waiting
you.
for our copies and a nice little letter written for us.
I just want to jump in and say, Olivia, let's be friends, okay? I don't
No.
want to.
Okay.
I'm Olivia's biggest fan, guys. I don't.
That's a great
well,
way.
it's up for debate.
That's a great way to segue into plugs.
Yeah.
Actually, before we get to plugs, so everybody can follow her, I did want. Oh, actually, plug your Instagram real quick, because I had a question about your Instagram.
Okay.
Where can people find
gotta
you?
Plug it.
Where can people find you?
What is it?
Question.
On
Well,
social media.
First, what is your Instagram so people can?
Oh yeah, it's Olivia Dudek _ and Dudek is like dude with a K on the end.
Hey, it's easy.
I got to say that I am pleasantly surprised how and I don't want this to come off as like
Go for it.
negative or fake or
We're
anything.
friends.
Yeah,
We're best
exactly.
friends,
Pleasantly surprised how charming and nice and approachable you are.
Oh no!
Wow, did you not think she was
got
gonna be
this
that way?
I get this a lot.
Your
Go for it.
Instagram,
What is it?
it just I mean, you look really good, but it looks like you're like a Lakers cheerleader almost. It does not look approachable.
What do you mean?
Wait.
Because
She
you're so
doesn't-
serious and sexy and
Like, say, fierce.
yeah, fierce
Yeah,
and like you
fierce
wouldn't
a
be
lot.
like down to chill.
People say that a lot. They're like, you seem very fierce, and then I'm surprised when you're so sweet. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
So it's not just me.
So no, I get that a lot.
Well, that's her
Okay.
type.
So-
She's going for a type.
Yeah, I was just an observation I made. I was surprised how approachable.
Oh, well, I'll take that as a
It
compliment.
is a compliment.
But I'm also like,
I know my track
I don't want
record's
people
not
to
good.
like
That's good.
think I'm unapproachable.
Maybe
Because
try one like I don't know.
We're gonna hire you. You're gonna be on our next
There you go.
on our next shoe.
It's a
Our
hard-
next photo shoot. You can be like
It's a hard
will
pass from
discern
Anderson. It's a hard pass.
one of the looks.
Yeah, are you smiling at any of them?
Dude, you can never tell. Don't tell a girl to smile, dude.
Yeah.
Because you would never tell a guy
I'm
to
not
smile.
saying
She's
you need
never
to-
coming back to this podcast. Thanks a lot,
Jump
Aaron.
into
No,
2020 with us.
I'm laughing because
I'm not saying
I know it's true.
she needs to
and
smile
I-
because she's a girl or anything. I'm just saying she smiles a lot in real life.
Yeah.
Okay. That's,
Well, if you go to Aaron's podcast, you see he's actually exactly what he posts
you
on
mean
his
his
social media.
Instagram? His
No,
Instagram.
your social media is a
His
lot
social
better
media.
than mine.
Just completely negative the whole time.
Guys, I'm not
Kidding.
Let's wrap this
Kidding.
up.
I
Let's
don't
take
wanna
this
be
off,
negative.
Mike.
Yeah.
I thought those were very insightful insights.
Very, very
Thank
good.
you, Austin.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah.
I liked it. Very,
Appreciate it.
very analytical. Anyway, so Instagram, anywhere else they can find you?
I'm like trying to be better about Twitter, so I like connect with you
Okay.
guys and like show me how to do it because
And the film
I
comes
never
out?
really yeah.
When?
Oh,
Later this year.
Yes. Is that?
We got to follow her.
It's not a yes or no question.
She'll give you the update if you follow her.
Yeah, I will definitely. As soon as I have the updates and I'm allowed to say them, I will definitely be sharing them, whatever I can. But as of now, late 2020.
Awesome. All right. Great. Well, appreciate you coming on. You were fantastic, and Aaron is grateful that you were a nice person.
I'm grateful.
I thought it was a great podcast. I loved it.
I didn't mean to be negative.
Great conversation.
Earlier he said he did not like being negative, and then he didn't mean to be negative, and now
just-
he's not
yeah.
even negative.
This
It's
is-
like,
He's changing every day.
I think you and me are going to look back at this and be like, you know what? It was good.
Yeah.
She has a photographic memory, so she'll remember
As
all
soon
of
as she unfollows you on Instagram, then it'll be a story to tell.
Now we're all following each other.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Great pod.